Well, hello and welcome to the Ultimate Wellness Group Solution Saturday special program today. Thank you, Maxine Bland and Joy Muhammad, for coming in. We are going to have a great show today talking about fasting and why fasting is so wonderful for the body. Give me a couple of minutes. I'm getting IG on here and then we're going to get started, okay? So thank you all for bringing yourself spending some time with the Ultimate Wellness Group this afternoon, this evening, and let's get directly in the show. All right. We thank God for giving us the ability to have an open mind, the ability to desire to learn and to apply. Today is about application. And we ask that God give us the strength and the will to apply. I also ask God for his grace on me to remove my anxiety. That's a good one. Remove my arrogance and my ego and allow me to be a vessel for your benefit. So without anything further from me, let's get directly into the show. I'm going to be looking over here every once in a while to see what is going on IG as well, y'all. So excuse me if I turn like that, okay? Hey, IG, let me know if you guys can hear me, okay? So let's get directly into the show. D Kiki, thank you for coming in. So we're going to go to the effects of fasting because that's what we're dealing with today. Okay, y'all? Let me know if you all can see this, okay? So we're going to start with the respiratory system. The respiratory system is, of course, something that we have to use every day. And in a climate, in the situation that we're going through right now, we're talking about breathing in every day, right? The air from outside that may have some toxins in it. It also may have viruses in it, right? And a lot of us are concerned about breathing in a virus, whether or not it's airborne or whether it comes from another person. And, one of the things that I want to also show you all today is what it looks like to consider a respiratory droplet. Forgot to pull that up before we started. But I want us to have the confidence that what we are doing is going to benefit us, not only now, but down the line and all those type of things. Okay, so there's a picture of that. We'll get to that in a minute. I just want to talk about that in a little bit. But this right here, I hope you can see my little cursor scrolling, is the end part of the lungs, right? You see up here, the mouth, you breathe down through your mouth or your nose into your trachea, down into your lungs, right? And this is the actual basic part of the lung that's allowing you to exchange oxygen for carbon dioxide. And of course, that's going to flow into the blood, right? The red blood is going back to the lungs. The blue blood is coming from the lungs. From the heart, I'm sorry. Red is going back to the heart. Blue is coming from the heart. And this area right here can be swollen, can be irritated by the things that we're, driving through traffic and smelling exhaust and smelling certain chemicals in the house and all those type of things. So this can be swollen. This can be tightened. The diameter of those tubes that you breathe through can be constricted. And that's what causes things like wheezing, right? I had a person just contact me in the last couple of days. He was doing a lot of work, dusting in a dusty environment, sweeping and things of that nature. And he started wheezing. And, when he contacted me, he asked me, what did I think? Well, that's definitely something that that I used to have a problem with as well. Wheezing because of those tubes being a little tight. Okay. And so that's what we're talking about today, is how you solve those type of problems. And fasting is one of those things, right? And let me just give a quick caveat after I say hello to everybody. Let me see who all came in. Joy Muhammad, April Muhammad, Joseph Muhammad. Thank you all for coming in. Khalila Muhammad, Lawrence Muhammad, Joy. I can see. Oh, good. So everything looks good today. Sharon Crockett, thank you for coming in. Jeff Reck, my longtime buddy, thank you for coming in. Shirley Stewart, T. Farrow, peace. So the one thing that I wanted to suggest to everybody is today We're talking about fasting. Our program on Tuesday was so wonderful. A lot of people that were on the show decided they were going to do the Unity Fast with us this weekend. So we ate our last meal on Thursday, and we will be coming off of our fast tomorrow. Hot Jihad, thank you for coming in. So that is what the show is going to be about that energy that fasting will do for us, and why we tried to fast together, because anytime you have a group of people doing things together, you have the energy to stick with it and stay with it. You get strength from each other, right? And so that's what we're talking about. But I'd like to just say that I think it would be very important, even if you're fasting for your first time or your 1,000th time, today's program is going to be basically standing on the foundation of two programs. I think all of my programs for the most part, but two in specific. One is Optimal Vegetarianism Without Supplementation. That's on my YouTube channel. I just dropped it on Facebook today. And then the other one is The Science of Eating, Part 1 and Part 2. Both of those programs, I think, gives you enough science about, learning how to correctly manage your lifestyle. And then you add fasting, and our confidence should be continually growing in this environment. Not only that we're going to be healthy in general, but when situations like this coronavirus thing come up, whether we believe it's false or whether we believe it's 100% accurate, it doesn't make a difference. If it's true, then your chances of fighting it off and being good are great. If it's a hoax, then what do? You improve your health. So either way, it's a win-win, right? So that's what just kind of a backdrop for today's program. Curly Peter, thank you for coming up. What's happening? Latanya, thank you for coming in. D Kiki, it's so important that we fast and cleanse our bodies. Absolutely. And when I finish today, I think you all are going to see that there's nothing that can equate fasting. Joy says, yes, the group motivated me. Absolutely. And I got to tell y'all this story. Samantha, 2X, thank you for coming in. Yesterday, today's Saturday, right? Yeah, yesterday, I was driving back from California, and I was about an hour and a half out of Houston, and I got tired. And I stopped at the store, filling up with gas, and I got a little juice to drink. Now, I typically don't do any juice on my fast, but I had to do it because I was getting sleepy. Only an hour and a half left, so I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to wait any longer. Now, why am I mentioning that when we're talking about a fasting? Because I want everybody to be empowered to understand and realize that your fast is your fast, right? And there should be no way that anybody else make you feel bad about how your fast goes. If some of you have tried fasting for the first time and you're listening to this program, if you didn't accomplish the goal, it's okay. It's about trying. It's about putting the effort out there. And every time we try, we're going to get better, right? This is not just going to happen this week. We're going to do this every month, because the longer we do it, the better our health, and the more things come at us, we'll be able to handle it with a lot of confidence. Real quick, let me check. Thank you all for coming on IG. Let me know if you can hear me. So let me see what we got here. Lawrence says, how are you feeling on this segment? Man, I feel so good right now. My energy is so high. I'm not even hungry, not even thinking about food. I have my sea salt and water this morning. I've had a couple of bottled waters today. I mean, I'm great. I've been moving around. Feel great. Y'all let me know how, all of you that are fasting, let me know how you're doing. Zena Hayes, good evening. Thank you for coming in. Yes, once a month, every month we're going to do this. Okay. So let's go back to sharing this screen and looking at some more about why fasting is so good. Okay, so we're going to go to the heart. Okay, I just want to show some stuff on each organ. We're going to talk about them, and then after I finish, I'm going to explain to you why I did that. So again, a couple of weeks ago I did a heart program, but here is just another look at the anatomy of your heart. You pump blood out to the lungs, and you pump blood out to the body. Okay, these two atria are what brings blood into the heart from other parts of the body, right? So what is happening every day when you're using your heart? If you are overweight, that's a stress on your heart. If you're stressed out, that's a stress on your heart. If you have high blood pressure, that's a stress on your heart. If you have diabetes, that's a stress on your heart, right? And so we see up here at the top, it says normal anatomy of the heart, because that's what we want. We want normal anatomy. We want everything to continue to work functionally well. And so through the stresses of life, and maybe some of us have gotten some extra weight or this or that, this fast went and started looking for things. Why? Because you didn't have to concentrate on digesting that food. Your body didn't have to do that. So instead of concentrating on digesting that food, your body was looking at the heart and say, oh, maybe one of these little, what we call chordaes that are linked up to this valve needed to be fixed. Maybe this septum needed a little work to improve. Maybe some of these parts out here, the blood vessels need to be cleaned out so that you don't have the most common death. And that is what? We talked about that the other day, a heart attack, right? None of us want to have the most common killer, and that is that heart attack. And then again, you know, we talked about the kidneys when we talked about diabetes, but here's just another example. This is what a kidney looks like. And then right here, we're looking down microscopically. If you look right there in that little arrow, we're looking at this. And so this is where your blood flow comes in every day and the fluid is taken out and it goes through this little system. And we pull out sodium and we pull out magnesium and we pull out calcium and we pull out potassium, all the things that we need to keep in the body because the body is calling for it. We keep in, and all the things that we need to release, we get rid of. And this is tube right here goes to your urine. So what happens in a kidney when you have had too many toxins in your body or you have diabetes? And we know that diabetes damages your kidney. What happens if you're the type of person whose blood pressure is high and you're steadily damaging this whole thing? See, this thing right here can be totally destroyed by high blood pressure and diabetes. But this fast that you just did, you just improved a couple of these because you didn't have to digest that food again, right? And so your body went and started looking in this kidney tubule and said, oh, we had some damage from that diabetes last week. We had some damage from that high blood pressure, but we fixed it today because this person that owns us was smart enough not to eat. And it gave us some time to work on some things that we didn't have the ability to do with all that digestion going on. I hope that makes sense. Joy says she had great energy. Yes, ma'am. That's beautiful. Carl Brown, thank you for coming in. Repetition is the mother of skills. That's right, Samantha. Absolutely. And the way we get better with this is repetition, right? I told you all in the last program that I've been working at trying to master how to eat to live for 17 years now. And so whether you've been on the journey as long as I have, you're just starting, doesn't make a difference. We're all in the journey together. We're at different phases, but we're all working this thing together. And fasting is something that you get better at the more you do. Hope that makes sense. Aaliyah says, I was struggling yesterday, but I feel great today. That's what I'm talking about. Aaliyah, the great. And matter of fact, I got to get a shout out to Aaliyah because she's the one that gave me the Saturday thing for this is Solution Saturday. So thank you, Aaliyah. Gerard Exposito, thanks for coming in. My mother thinks I'm crazy for only eating one meal a day. You know them Caribbean Hispanic parents, they ain't gonna make you eat. That's right, every time, right? They want you to eat 3-4 times a day and then get snacks whenever they're cooking something. Yeah, so that's great, bro. You know, and that's one of the things that we always discuss is, you know, when you do things different than your family, a lot of times they look at you strange. A lot of times they want you to come back. And a lot of times that's the comfort level. You understand what I'm saying? We all have gone through that when we make changes. Sometimes people don't want you to change because they want to stay comfortable where they are. But when you change and you show them what it's like, then they'll start to really understand. And I know all of you that are fasting, you can look in the mirror just like I can. And you say, man, I slimmed down a little bit. I look a little cleaner. My skin looks a little more bright. All those things. My eyes look a little more white. You remember I talked the other day about looking in the mirror at your eyes. All those things we should be doing on a regular basis. And you really have a measuring tool for how these fasts help you out. Donita Lake, thanks for coming in. What do you think about alpha interferon? I'm going to discuss that at the end. Kidney not showing. I apologize. Let me get it right. Okay. Maxine, we can't see your picture. Okay. Well, let me get it back right then. Y'all let me know if you can see it now. Okay, y'all let me know if you can see it now. So this was the kidney I was talking about. And this is the system that takes stuff out of the blood and then sends that off to your bladder so that you can urinate. Okay, so let me check back and make sure that you all can see this. Maxine says, I'm on it. I feel strong and vibrant. I love the way my senses wake all the way up when I fast. Absolutely. Mariam, thank you for coming in, my daughter. Donita Lake is visual. Carl Brown. Monica, thank you for coming in. Okay, y'all can see it. So I got it right, huh? Okay, good. Okay, so we're finished with the kidney, and let's go on to the next one, and that is just your muscle structure in general. IG, y'all all right over there? Let me know if you can hear me. I see a lot of waves, but nobody is telling me whether they can see it or not. So here's your muscles, and I use this picture because not only are the muscles all over the body, and that's what makes us move, eat, blink eyes, and you see some of those muscles inside your abdominal cavity that allow you to do the things that you do, right? Those muscles move your fingers, those muscles move your toes and your foot and your hand, right? And so every day when you walk, if you're a person that exercises, every day when you exercise, every day when you do any type of movement, that muscle has to work. That muscle produces byproducts, right? Most of us have heard of lactic acid. Lactic acid is what causes a soreness in the muscle after you work out, after you haven't done it for a long period of time. Now, the other thing that physical activity, especially strenuous physical activity, does is you get micro tears in these muscles. And so that's what we have to repair. And so when you fasted this weekend or whenever you fast, you start to repair these muscles all over the body that you can't live without, right? Muscles are protection, movement, as well as keeping the body healthy. There's another program I did on muscle movement and health. You all get a chance, check that out. But the muscles are important. So we have so many things that allow us to continue to improve, and that's the point. So let me get to a couple of these comments. Cynthia says, I'm feeling great today. I'm able to work and still have energy. That's right. Joseph Muhammad. D. Kiki says, yes, we can see it now. Okay. Danny says, why do I feel cold when fasting? Well, the one of the reasons that you can feel cold, first of all, thank you for coming in, Danny, is because eating produces a lot of energy and a lot of heat in the body. And so sometimes when a person is fasting, the body can cool down and just be relatively cool compared to when it normally is doing its typical things. That would be the only thing that I could think of to answer that. Linda Muhammad, thank you for coming in. Joy, cleaned the whole house and couldn't stop. Got so much energy, clean the whole house, huh? Mariam says, share the visual again. Okay. I can see you, need picture. You back again. Can't see the picture, family. We just have to listen. Well, no, I'm trying to get this right so you all can see this. Let me make sure I do it right. I'm gonna go back to the muscle, okay? Y'all let me know if you can see this. So there, I'm sharing it. Sharing this tab to StreamYard. Okay, so there, y'all let me know. Can you see that now? You are cold too. That explains why I get hot when I eat. Yes. So okay. So let me know, y'all. Can you see? Okay, good. You can see it now. Good. All right, so we're finished with that muscle thing. I'm gonna take that off the screen and put something else up there, okay? Let's go to the next system, which is, we're gonna do our intestines, okay? Y'all let me know, can you see this? Let me make sure it is up. No, it's not, okay? Y'all gotta bear with me again. I'm learning this new system, but we're gonna get it right. Okay, there are the intestines. Again, you have the stomach. After you finish digesting, you release into the intestines. The first part of your intestines is the duodenum. You see the name right there. The middle part is the jejunum, and the last part is the ileum. There's a lot more small intestines. They just reduced it so that you could see it and be able to visualize it well, but there are a lot more small intestines in here than what's shown. And then you have your large intestines. Now, what is going on in here on a daily basis? You may eat nuts, you may eat chips, you may eat other things that are somewhat hard, so they can go in here and scrape things up. Sometimes some of us are doing other things that may cause some problems, and we may be having breakdown of this system and get holes in it, which are called ulcers, or little nicks and cuts and things like that in this whole system. And so during this fast, your body wasn't interested in having to deal with absorption, didn't have to deal with digestion, didn't have to deal with elimination. And so your body went in and started fixing some of these things. So the inside of your intestines, if we were to go and look in there and look down in there with a tube, it would look a lot more healthy than if we probably looked at it last week, right? Another system that is greatly improved after a 3-day fast. Okay, what's next? Look and make sure. Okay, good. I'm on my laptop. I have my 8-year-old watching, so please forgive me if I ask delayed questions. No problem, no problem. Let that 8-year-old know to let me know if I'm doing all right. Donita Lake says, I've started drinking my veg and the energy is off the chain. I feel like a new person. Let me know what you mean drinking my veg. You talking about vegetable juice? Nia La, thank you for coming in. I have a problem with staying consistent with my healthy eating journey. I'm not sure if it's because of everyday life or what, but how can I stay consistent? Well, one of the things that you can do to stay consistent, my sister, is keep on coming back. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be a friend on Facebook and come and watch my videos, during the week or maybe while you're riding or whatever you can do. And then ask me questions. Sometimes just by keeping your mind focused, it'll help you. Life is tough, and sometimes we fall off. I fall off. It's not that it's only happening to you. We all need to become more consistent, or we all can improve in our consistency. But when we stay together like a community, like we just did over the last 3 days, then we'll all be a little more strong in our ability to stay consistent. So I offer you, me as your brother, to ask questions, to watch my videos, to interact when I come on here like you're doing today. And I pray that helps you. Okay. And let me know if I did answer your question. Maxine, I listened to Optimal Vegetarianism and the almonds reality got me over and done. Never again. I pray to fast with me. Yeah. And that's the thing, Maxine, you asked some wonderful questions, and I know you've had some concerns over some of the programs about whether or not you can undo the problems that you have caused in the past. I can be concerned about whether or not I am going to undo some of the things in the past. And I do believe that it takes time. It takes time to renew and improve and heal the body, just like it took time to deteriorate it. So just have the confidence that God put healing in this body. And we have to just continue to work on it every day in a society like we live in, and we'll be okay. Brother Paul, how does fasting help your nervous system? We're going to get to that. We come in. We fall down, but we must get up. Come on now. Yes, man. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next one. Brother Paul, I'm not forgetting about you. We're going to get to that in just a minute. The nervous system is last because it's the most important. So let me go next to this. Wait a minute. No, that's not the one I wanted to go. I wanted to go to spleen next. So we're going to go to the spleen next. Those of you who don't know where the spleen is, there it is right there. It's on the left side of your body, next to the liver, on the side of the stomach. What is the purpose of the spleen? The spleen every day is like a filter in your blood. So if you have an old cell, if you have a cell that doesn't work well anymore, if you have a cell that just something is just not right, the spleen will pull it out. And it has the ability, if something is minorly wrong with that cell, it can fix it up and put it back in the blood. But if something is wrong with it, it keeps it out permanently and puts it into the lymph system. The spleen is part of the lymph system. Okay, so that is very important at keeping your blood fresh, keeping your blood capable. And we're going to get to something in a little minute. So y'all remember this part right here about this spleen when I get a little further in the show, because once you understand a little bit about what the spleen does, and then we understand what a 3-day fast can represent, all of you are going to leave this show a lot more confident. That I believe 100%. Okay. So let's do a little bit about the liver, and then we will come back and continue to go forward. Okay. Because I want to make sure that you all have a good, just basic view of all of these different organs that you have been improving on your 3-day fast. And if you did 5 hours of fasting, that was good. If you did 4 hours of fasting, great. If you did 48 hours of fasting and then ate something, it's okay. It is not an issue. Every day, every month, we're going to get a little better, right? So here's your liver. And this is a pretty good picture because what you're looking at is, of course, again, the red arteries going in, right? You see the blue, which are the veins coming out, right? And then you see the green, because make sure I get this English correct. What is one of the responsibilities of the liver is to produce the substance that goes into the gallbladder, which helps us break down fat, okay? So you see the liver has all these, and it's much more than this. This is just a depiction of all the things that the liver does. Now, what's the most important aspect of the liver? It breaks down all of the toxins that come in our body every day. So you walk by somebody and they spraying Fabuloso, or you walk by somebody, they're smoking a cigarette, or you walk behind a car and you smell the exhaust, or you get on the bus, or you walk to work, or you're in a public place and you smell a woman's perfume or a man's cologne. All of those things go in the body. Your liver has to deal with it. But over the last 3 days, what your liver didn't have to do was produce anything for the gallbladder. It didn't have to produce enzymes to help break down your food. It didn't have to deal with the stuff from the food. So its load of dealing with toxins was decreased because you decided to fast, right? So in a minute, I want to get to why I'm going through all this. And I hope that you all understand. I hope you all aren't getting bored with me, because there's going to be a very serious reason. I'm going to tell you why I went through all this in a little bit. Let me get to some of these comments and statements. Okay, so Nia Leah, thank you. And I pray we continue to see you come back. Danny, how will fasting help combat COVID-19 and other sicknesses? Thank you for that question. I'm going to get to that at the end. Keto James, how important is a hydrated colon? Do you recommend colonics? Well, we just finished looking at the picture of the GI system, right? It's very important for that system to be hydrated because it doesn't work correctly when it is dehydrated. Dehydrated GI system is what causes people to have what they call gastroesophageal reflux. And you hear people say, I got to drink in order to swallow my food. Those are signs that the system is dehydrated. So it does take hydration and water to keep that system flowing and functioning correctly. Do I recommend colonics? Absolutely not. I don't think anything should be going in that direction. If you eat the right type of foods, like I was saying earlier, optimal vegetarianism and my programs on the science of eating, if you eat those type of foods, you'll never need anybody to put something up in your butt and push that water up in there, because your system is not made to go that way. Your system is made to everything to come from mouth towards the anus and out. And when we're doing the right things, that system works very well and solves its problems without having anything like a colonic. Okay, great question. Brother Paul, what do you think about drinking tea during the 3-day fast? Absolutely. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad stated that we could drink coffee and tea during our fast, but he warned us not to eat a whole bunch of sugar with a little bit of coffee, or a lot of sugar with a little bit of tea, right? We have to maintain keeping the body from being overburdened. That's why I'm going through all these organ systems, so we can have a visual from this point forward of what is happening, right? And so we want to just make sure that we keep that tea and that coffee at a minimum, right? Because the whole purpose of this fast is to discipline ourselves when we're going to sit down and eat, to discipline ourselves so that longer periods of time are in between our meals, right? If you can go 3 days without eating, you can definitely, the next time you eat, say, well, I'm going to wait and eat till 4. I'm going to wait till 6, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to give in to them chips at work. I'm not going to give in to the lady that comes to work and she's baked something, or the guy that stops and gets donuts for everybody. I'm just going to say no to that stuff, because I know it's not going to help me in my health journey, nor in my longevity. Okay. All of you, please let me know if I'm answering your question. Don't beat yourself up, stick with it, and don't stress over it. Absolutely. And that's the key, that we're all on a journey, right? Nobody has the ability to turn to another person and say, oh, you quit. No, you can't say that. We are a team and we're going to make it through together. And whatever your situation is, we just keep trying to figure out, assess it, and keep moving forward. Great point, D. Kiki. Kelly Sewell Glenn, thank you for coming in. Good evening, everyone. I want to do a 3-day fast. However, I take certain medicines. What options do I have? That would be something that you would have to reach out to me personally, because I don't want to get into specifics like that on the program. But I do consider fasting with everybody that I work with. And that's an excellent question, because when a person is taking medications, you got to be very careful. Some medications are very tricky with fasting, and then some of them will irritate your stomach if you take it on an empty stomach. And so we'll have to work on that personally. Okay. Maxine, great question, as I considered it one time. D. Kiki, what did I do? Diki said, I will do a 3-day dry fast starting Monday since we are quarantined and allow myself to rest so that my body can rejuvenate and repair itself. 3-day dry fast. Let me know what you mean by a dry fast, because if you're talking about no water, I'm not sure that will be the best. And let me just comment on that. So you have to let me know, Dikiki, if you do if you go too many days without taking in water, if that's what you mean by a dry fast, when you start pulling out these toxins, they'll be in tissues and won't be flushed out. And so when a person is fasting, I always suggest that you maintain good hydration and drinking plenty of water, because some of those toxins can be very damaging to tissues. Donita Lake says, I started juicing and drinking my vegetables, and I am truly feeling a sense of wellness. Okay, great. Nia says, I'm glad you say that. It's best for me to start small and work my way up. Yesterday, I went on a 1-day water fast, and today I went on a day fast and started eating once the sun set. There you go. And that's exactly what I was going to say towards the end, but you brought it up, so I'm going to have to say it now. Those of you who have never fasted before, you don't need to try to do a 3-day fast because we're doing one. Be a part of the team, but say, hey, you know what? On Friday, they're going to fast all day. I'm going to fast till 3. Saturday, I'm going to eat. Then Sunday, I might try that again. That's how you work it in. Perfect example. Me, I appreciate that. Jamil, not bored at all. Thank you for coming in, bro. Thank you for the comment. Brother Paul, I noticed that some in my family are exhausted on the last day of the fast, like not able to get out of bed, while some are full of energy. Why is that? Well, that's exactly what the point is that I'm making. See, every person is different. Every person has a different toxic level. Everybody has a different ability. Everybody has different weights. If a person has more fat, they're going to pull out more toxins. If a person is more thin, they may do more structural work. And every person is different. A person who's doing structural work because they don't have a lot of fat and they didn't pull a lot of toxins out, they may be tired because they did a lot of work. The person who is overweight or obese may be tired because they had so many toxins that overwhelmed their body and caused a lot of issues. So it's different for different people. And that's the reality of why I'm saying that we have no ability to look at a person and say what they are or they aren't doing. We have to continue just to support each other and to build each other up. And watch how, as we continue to do that, everybody will get better. The one thing that I will say is that for those who are very tired, feeling sick, headaches, and some of the other things that happen when you're fasting, as you continue to do it, those things will get better. So there is a good side to it. Okay, great question, Brother Paul. Okay, so Maxine says, I believe that started somewhere. I've done that in the past, but I encourage you to listen to Optimal Vegetarian. We'll break that part down and why it isn't best. Okay, yes, ma'am. Danny Muhammad, how should we come off the fast? Excellent. I'm going to get that to the end, okay? Great questions. Jamil, the team aspect of this effort is powerful. Absolutely. Nothing better than unity, right? Our unity is stronger than an atomic bomb. Maxine, this show is the best. Let's come on every Saturday. Well, not Saturday. Transformation Tuesday. We're going to do every Saturday. This is a special show just for y'all. I don't typically do Saturdays. Kelly Sewell Glenn, thank you. My point exactly. Yes, ma'am. Danny says, is this like Ramadan or Lent? You talking about this fast? Explain to me what you mean by that, bro. I think Ramadan starts in this month, if I'm correct. Teamwork makes the dream work. I'm fasting for everyone on here who dies of fast and not able, sending all you powerful positive. There you go. Mariam says Ramadan starts in April, I believe. Yeah, I think it's April 24th. I'm so enjoying this. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm glad. That's what gives me the energy to continue to do this. All right. So let's go to the next system while you all let me know the answers to those questions. And we're going to go to the pancreas. So there to the right, you see the pancreas. There again is a picture of the spleen. There's the intestines. And this is the pancreas, the 3 different parts of it there. And then this is a different part. And then this is a different part, right? You see this says acinar cells secrete digestive enzymes. So this is what's helping you break down when you eat foods that need extra work. Over here, you see the pancreatic islets. This is what helps produce the cells. And I'm sorry, not the cells. This is what helps produce the insulin that we need when we eat sugary foods. And then down here is the section that produces the bicarbonate that helps put us back in that pH balance, not alkaline, but neutral. Okay. So this is important. This is very, very important to us, right? I would venture to guess that everybody on this show probably knows somebody, has somebody in their family with diabetes. And so what did you do over these last 3 days during your fast? You see this little pancreatic islet cell has alpha cells, beta cells, and then this cell, this is looking at a cell. What you did was you eliminated toxins. You improved that cell. You repaired that cell. You made that cell more manageable. And guess what? You're going to do even more work because you're going to continue that fast today into tomorrow. So you won't eat until tomorrow evening. So these cells don't have any job of producing pancreatic enzymes to break down food. You didn't have to produce any insulin to pull that sugar into the cells. And you didn't need to put any bicarbonate out there because your stomach wasn't doing any work. So you didn't have to worry about doing all those things. So the cells can not worry about what they have to produce and get to working on what's going on inside of each one of those cells and make it better for the future. Hope this is making sense to you all. Okay, so Jamil says starts April 23rd. Okay. Troy, thank you for coming in. Always on point. Keep teaching. Thank you, brother. Kimmy Kim, my college sister, been fasting all year, intermittent fasting, and it's been the most powerful in detoxing my body and building my immune system. Absolutely. Kimmy, don't go nowhere, because I got a section at the end of the program that I'm going to talk about intermittent fasting, and I want you to come on back and give some of your testimony about how you went through the process and how you built up to doing that. Kelly Sewell, I'm a diabetic. Okay. Yeah. And that's the thing. Diabetes can be improved. And for those who have never read the book, How to Eat to Live, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that he was giving a directive to diabetics: don't use medicine for diabetics. And that sounded crazy to me the first time I read it. But now I'm living that reality with some of the people that I work with who have diabetes. So please reach out to me. Let's get busy. Maxine says, go ahead with the brand new awesome pancreas. What? That's right. That's right. Making a lot of sense. Oh, I'm glad. Okay, so let's get back to these organs, and then we're going to come back to some of these final points. Okay. Gallbladder. We talked about this, right? So you saw the green lines in the liver that I showed earlier, right? And you see them all coming down, and they're coming together, and they're going, some of that goes down to the common bile duct, and some of that comes from the gallbladder. But together, those things that are coming from those green tubes are how we help break down fat. So if your stomach, which would be sitting here, is breaking down something with a lot of fat, that's being communicated to the body. And then you see where those little drips are, and you're dripping that in there to break down the fat so that we can get things out of the fat. And you see where kind of the system there shows the stomach and all these other organs in relationship to the gallbladder, right? So you didn't break down any fat over the last couple of days. Or like Kimmy, she didn't have to break fat down during her intermittent fasting in those long periods in between eating. So that gallbladder had a chance to do some correction, had the chance to do some beneficial things, right? And so that's why we're going to keep on working on this and getting better at it. Okay. Next organ system we're going to talk about is the bones. Okay. Because it's important for us to understand that structurally our bones are very important, right? And so you look at the different type of bones that are on here as these classification of bones. But the key point here is that every day you have cells in your body called osteoblasts. They build bone. And then you have osteoclasts, which break down old bone, weak bone, bone that isn't just working the right way anymore. And so it has to be replaced, right? Just like an old house that needs some refurbishing. So this is what's happening every day in those bones. And so when you fasted over the last few days, there were a few things that were going on. You look at that. See, that's your cartilage, right? This is the bone structure. And then you see that tissue inside of there and the marrow. This is where you make your blood cells. So during your fast, your body doesn't have to take the nutrients from eating and put it in there. It's looking around and seeing what's going on that we need to fix. And then again, keep this in your mind. I asked you earlier to keep the spleen in your mind and keep this bone in your mind, where I talked about this is where you make your blood cells. We're going to get to something that's going to be pretty, I think, good information in a few minutes for everybody. Okay. Making a lot of sense. Thank you, Kelly Glenn. Sharon says, please share in the end of how to reach out to you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. I just certainly will. Okay, so let's get back to these organ systems. What we're going to do next, we're going to go to skin. Right? We just finished talking about some of you looked in the mirror and you said, doggone, my skin looked better in the last couple of days. Yeah, because you're pulling toxins out of your body and you're getting rid of them. And so I don't know how many of you have ever looked at a picture of a skin with the hair follicle and the sweat glands and the blood flow and the fat that's running there. The skin is an organ within itself. There's a whole lot going on in that skin, right? And so over the last few days, when you have been fasting, I'm praying that you're using good things on your skin like shea butter or cocoa butter or aloe vera or castor oil, things like that on your skin to moisturize you, and not these lotions and things that they sell you in the store telling you that this is got kiwi in it or it has aloe vera, and you read the ingredients and you don't see aloe vera until like the 85,000th ingredient, right? So at the end of the day, if you're using good things on your skin, then your skin definitely did some positive things. Now, here's the other thing. Sometimes when you're fasting, you can develop acne. That's not a bad thing. That is a sign to you that your body is releasing toxins. So don't get upset at the fact that sometimes when you fast, you may get acne during the fast, and sometimes you may get acne in a couple of days after you stop. Not a bad sign. That's a good sign. That means your body releases some of your toxins through your skin. Some people, you hardly ever see them with acne. So that person doesn't release a lot of the toxins through the skin. So I just wanted to mention that. You did some good things with your skin with this fast. All right. Hope this is making sense. All right. What's next? We got, let's go to the lymph system. I think would be a good one to do now, because this is a depiction of all the vessels in the body that takes out trash. Really, the lymph system is just basically the trash system, right? And so you have a lot of lymph nodes. You see the little nodes in here, right? You see the little, look like little bundled up something all over here. Now, the only thing about this picture I think is a little not accurate is you have a whole bunch down in here around the lungs. So, you know, the lungs are not here, but anyway, we would breathe and the trachea is right down in the middle, and then the lung would start going out that way. The lungs would be in this area here. And there are a lot of immune cells, a lot of lymph nodes around those lungs. But what did you do while you were fasting? Pulling the trash out of the tissues, because now your body has had some time to go and collect the trash. Just like if you had a mama like me and even a wife like me, right? Did you get all the trash out the house? So you got to go look in the bedrooms and go look in the laundry room and look in the kitchen and get all the trash from everywhere before you can take it out before they come get to class. That's what the lymph system does. And so when you're pulling this trash and these cells that don't work as well anymore, and you're pulling all this stuff out of the system, it gives you that energy boost. It gives you that renewal, that clean look, and that refreshed look that you have. That's why, because a lot of poisons are being taken out, and you're urinating and putting that in the colon sometimes. But the fact that it's being pulled out of tissues is the benefit. The immune system is going to be boosted because of trash being moved out of that system, right? Makes sense. If we're living in a house and there's a whole lot of trash in it, well, we're really not going to be feeling that great, right? So we always want to make sure the system is clean. Okay. Get to a couple questions. Okay. Cynthia Mama says, my daughter wants to complete the fast, but she is also a nursing mother. Her baby does eat meals and does not primarily rely on breast milk. Is this okay? If the child is eating and you are thinking about going through the process of weaning that child off of breast milk, I would say yes. If weaning is not part of your plan right now, I would say no. It takes a lot of energy to produce breast milk. So all of the things that I just finished talking about in these organs, your body is doing, plus you're making all this food for your baby to eat. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know if I answered your question specifically, okay? Michael Boutte, my Beaumont brother, glad to see you back. This is very knowledgeable information, real talking from everyone giving feedback. Very nice on testimonies. Thank you, bro. Glad you're back. Sharon Crockett, I'm a survivor of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. There you go. So we're going to have you on one of these days. How does fasting aid in relieving stress? Man, you got all the great questions, Danny. They're just coming in a little bit, okay? All of these questions were things that I'm going to get to, so let's go ahead and get to them. Thank you all for the wonderful everything. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go to, we did the lymph system. Let's go to hematopoietic system. Okay. So here on the right, you see at the top, it might be a little small, but it says multipotential hematopoietic stem cell. What is a stem cell? A stem cell is a non-differentiated cell, meaning it's a cell that has no direction, no knowledge, no being. It's just sitting there waiting to be told what to do. And so when you fast, I'll give y'all a little quick peek. Fasting for 3 days can regenerate the entire immune system. Can y'all see this? Yeah, you can see it, right? Okay, so let me go back. This is your system of blood cells. If you look over here all the way to the left, you see a thrombocyte. Those are your platelets, which keep you from bleeding. If you cut yourself, that's what goes and tries to stop the bleeding. Your erythrocytes, that's what carries nutrients and oxygen from the lungs to the tissues and takes the carbon dioxide from the tissues and takes it to the lungs to get rid of it, right? Here's a mast cell. That's one of your immune cells. Mast cells come out of the blood and just go and just find stuff that ain't no good no more and just grab it and eat it up and break it apart. And it has a permanent memory of that. Myeloblast, that produces all your white blood cells. All these right here are the white blood cells that are rolling around looking for something to kill. If something comes in your body that's a foreign body, a virus, a bacteria, anything that's foreign, even if you scratch yourself and get dirt in your bloodstream, they're going to kill it. And then you got these over here, which are similar. This is the immune system, but this is what makes the little cells that go out into the tissues. And then you have a natural killer cell. So all of these, the natural killer cell, the T lymphocyte, the B lymphocytes, the monocytes, the macrophages, the eosinophil, neutrophils, basophils, and the mast cells are all your immune system. So you all on a 3-day fast replenished everything in your body. Now, how beautiful do you think that is? How great is your body feeling right now? It's got fresh blood, fresh immune cells. What do you think a coronavirus is going to get if it comes into your body now? A butt whooping. So that's the kind of confidence we have to have, okay? When we are doing things, right? Because it comes back to eating the right food. You got to eat the right foods before you get to your fast in order to fast correctly. But even if you didn't eat the right foods, it's okay. We're working towards that. Fasting is important. So here is an article that's been out for a few years. They did some studies here in the United States at USC. They did some studies overseas, and it's proof that once you fast for 3 days, you can regenerate, right there it says, the entire immune system, elderly, scientists. And then what kind of bothers me is one of these articles was talking about that this would help you make it through chemotherapy. Well, that's not why we're doing this. We're doing this because we're trying to completely eliminate cancer as a possibility in our reality, right? And this type of a program, I think, can help you understand why I would say that. You don't want to fast to improve your ability to deal with chemotherapy. You want to fast so that your body is fixing all these things and cancer is not a reality. All of those cells I just finished showing you in your immune system, they kill cancer cells every day. But guess what happened over the last 3 days while you were fasting, or like Kim was talking about earlier, doing intermittent fasting? Your immune cells go on a rampage. Hey, that cell over there ain't no good. Hey, that cell looks like it's starting to deteriorate. Hey, that cell over there looks like it's about to transform into cancer. Kill it. And that's what a good immune system has the ability to do. Now, how many of you, if you had confidence in your immune system, like I just finished talking about, would you be worried about the coronavirus that you can kill cancer? Now, again, I'm not trying to belittle coronavirus. I'm not trying to say that it's not something that we should be concerned about, but it is not something that should be overwhelming us where we think we're going to die. Not if you're doing these type of things. This is what builds your confidence and builds your desire to say, you know what, I got to keep going because no matter what comes in the future, I'm not going to have to deal with it. This is what keeps you from deteriorating like grandma and uncle and auntie and mama. All right. Every day, little bit of work, fasting on a regular basis. April Muhammad. Thank you. Kim. Yes, ma'am. Donnie Lake says, please explain what it means to fast. Yes, ma'am. Will you please share with everyone the best foods to break the fast with to support us all? Absolutely, I will. Carl Brown, donuts. It's being I'm not sure what you mean. Amen. That is correct. Peace, family. Donna Jones, thank you for coming in. Okay, so let's get to these questions because they're great questions, and I want to make sure I answer them. But let me first start with where did my brain go? God dog it. Okay, so the point that you brought up, Danny, was about stress and being overwhelmed with things like some people are going through right now. And what happens in a brain when we fast? Get you all this picture. So we are sure, right, all of us, that there's nothing that can happen in the human body without the brain telling it to happen. So when we look at these, this is something that you can do on your own time. I don't want us to really get into a whole bunch of it. I just wanted to show the pictures so you could see all the different functioning areas of the brain. This is a beautiful system that we have. God gave us everything we need. And so all of these systems have to constantly not only do what they're made to do, but interact with something else, right? So you have this right here, temporal lobe, that's dealing with the auditory when you're listening, right? In the back, the occipital lobe, that's your vision. Well, how many times have you in your life seen something or heard something that made you look, or you look at something and it makes your senses increase, right? These brain systems have to work together. This portion right here, this little whitish looking portion under this green is the system that allows the left part of the brain to work with the right part of the brain. So every time you do something, everything has to be communicated to all these different parts of the brain. It is a proven fact that when people fast, these connections are improved and they're cleaned up. And when you have problems, like most of the problems that happen in the brain, like a stroke, like multiple sclerosis, or people get Alzheimer's disease, or people have just a deterioration over time, that is a reality that is happening because the fat aspects of the brain are being deteriorated, and it's fat that protects the nerves. So when you went on your fast this weekend, or like Kim did that intermittent fasting, you had a chance to get away from absorption, get away from digestion, get away from all the work that happens after you absorb the food, and you went into this brain and started fixing things and making things improve. It improves your mood. I've never heard of anybody tell me that they were depressed going into the fast and came out depressed. I've never heard anybody that's very anxious that did a fast and didn't feel better afterwards. It is so beneficial that it helps everything. Okay. So I just want to tell a quick story because I know all of you can relate to this one. You know, my mother used to come home sometimes and she would have gone grocery shopping. Sometimes we would go with her, but sometimes we wouldn't, right? If my mom came home and she did the grocery shopping and she put all those groceries in that car, when she got to the house, if we were outside or whether we were inside, didn't make a difference. We better get our behind there, help her get them bags out that car, right? And so when we look at the human body and you take the analogy of going grocery shopping, that's what the brain has to deal with every day. The brain is connected to everything, right? Like we always talk about through the thyroid gland, but also through its own connections by the feedback mechanisms that I've talked about before, right? If your kidney is working on something, it sends messages to the brain saying, okay, things are good. When your endocrine system sends out certain hormones, it also goes to the brain and tell the brain, hey, I did what you told me to do. We're working on it. We're handling this problem. And so think about the fact that, you know, my mom would come in the house and she'd say, hey, I'm here with the groceries. Y'all go get them groceries. So we would run out to the car and, you know, we'd be fighting each other to see what bag I want to grab, see what's in the bag. And so that's kind of the same thing that the body does. When you put some food in your mouth and you chew, that's work. Then your stomach has to digest it. That's work. And then you have to absorb it. That's work. And then it has to put it into the body, all the places that it needs to go, but it's going to the places that the brain tells it to go. It makes sense? And so it's like grabbing those groceries out the back of the car. We go put it in the house. Then what we got to do? Got to take it out of the bags and put it in the right place. And so all of that has to happen in the human body as well. So over the last few days or in those long periods of time in between meals, you don't have to do that. then your body doesn't have to worry about the work of digestion, absorption, all that. You just have to worry about, okay, what can I go around this body and find and fix? And that's why a fast is so beautiful. Sharon Crockett says, definitely more confident. That's what I'm talking about. Kimmy Kim, I honestly believe I was led by God to build my immune system in January. Absolutely. The one thing I can tell y'all now, this sister Kimmy Kim that y'all hear on telling these great things, we went to college together. And there's one thing that I've always known about her is that she was always a very honest person, a beautiful person, fun to be around, put you in check if she needed to, but she was always that way. So I'm glad to hear that, because what you just finished commenting about is what I talk to people a lot. We always talk about this woman's intuition. Well, we all have it. I believe that's the seventh sense, right? We got the nose, we got the mouth, we got the vision, we got the feel, we got the hearing. Those are five. Sixth is that intuition. And seventh is the God consciousness. But when you have something that happens to you, right? How many of us have ever had an accident? You said, damn, something told me to make that left at the other street. Damn, something told me to go another way. That is God within us. And I believe you, my sister. Thank you. Faith in the 3-day fast. That's right. Crystal Davis, thank you for coming in. The virus is here. It's eventually going to affect everyone. Some won't be as bad as others, even after the social distancing. What are your thoughts? It's a virus and we can't cure viruses. Yes, I'm going to get to all of that in just a few minutes. Great questions. Linda Muhammad, great example. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so let me get back to a couple of more things, and then I'm going to get to this suggestions and these questions about the virus, okay? All right, so we did that. Let me go here. Okay, so there is a article I was looking at that is basically talking about what Kimmy Kim was talking to us about. And that is the benefits of intermittent fasting. I believe y'all can see this, okay? Now, there was also a post about the benefits of fasting, and they're pretty much the same, okay? But I want to talk about this intermittent fasting, and those of us who are doing intermittent fasting and or just fasting, then you can look at this as the same, because regardless of what you're doing, evidence-based health benefits of intermittent fasting, you can just take away the intermittent and just say fasting. Whether you're doing fasting in a short period of time or whether you're doing multiple days, these are the benefits, okay? So let's look at these real quick. Intermittent fasting changes the function of cells, genes, and hormones in a positive way. It does not do anything but make a cell better and make your genes fixed and improved, right? So when we sit around and we talk about people talking about something runs in my family, no, it doesn't run in your family. Your genetic structure is the same as the people in your family. So you got your lifestyle from your mama, your daddy, your grandparents, and you do the same thing everybody else did. That's why you wind up with the same medical problems. But when you fast and you eat correctly, your genes are improved and structured correctly. And anytime something damages them, you go and you fix it. And your hormones are produced wonderfully. Okay? Next, intermittent fasting can help you lose weight and belly fat. Hey, that's just a benefit, right? We don't really care about that as our primary focus because we're not doing it for the vanity, but it does look good when you lose some of that, right? So we'll take it along with the benefits. All right, what we got next? Intermittent fasting can reduce insulin resistance, lowering your risk of type 2 diabetes. So if you're a person who is overweight and you have diabetes in your family, if you're a person who has gone to a doctor and they've told you you have pre-diabetes or you're insulin resistant, all that is, it means that your body is going into a phase that is confused. It cannot handle what you're doing with it, and it needs to be taken care of to go in a different direction. So fasting will do all of this. Why? Because the work is gone and your body can start doing the things that it takes to improve the whole system. That's why I went through all of those different systems to give you all that ability to look at each of those organs. And after today, you'll be able to do what I do, right? Because this is stuff I've been studying for years. But today, you don't have to understand the specifics like I do. But what you do need to say to yourself is, man, I remember he showed me that pancreas. Hey, today I'm fasting. I know my pancreas is going to be getting improved. So you're literally thinking now, like Kim was talking about that faith. of having that sign that she needed to start fasting in January. But you also have the mind frame of your own to think about what's going to happen in your body and to think and tell your body what to do. The brain is in control of everything underneath it, right? So that's the importance of today. By you looking at all those organs and understanding just a little bit about them, you don't need to know a lot more, but that's the confidence that will give these problems will be solved. Intermittent fasting can reduce oxidative stress and inflammation in the body. Oxidative stress, I talked to you all about that before, right? You eat an apple, you take a bite, you put the apple down, you peel a banana, you break the banana off and put it down. You start seeing browning. That's oxidation. That's death. That's aging, right? Inflammation in the body is an absolutely normal reality. Inflammation is the healing process. When something is, you get a cut on your hand, or you cut yourself shaving, or you burn yourself when you're curling your hair, that inflammatory reaction, that redness that happens around there, is the body sending fluid, sending all those cells that we talked about was in the bloodstream to go deal with the problem and fix it. So inflammation is not a bad thing unless you're doing so wrong that it just lasts for long periods of time. Inflammation is the solution. Intermittent fasting will improve these situations and make you solve the problem faster than you would when you were eating. Intermittent fasting may be beneficial for heart health. How? By what we talked about earlier, right? If you're not doing all the things that digestion will do to increase the whole work of the body, then your heart can go and start looking at its own blood vessels and say, hey, we got some plaque over here. Let me remove that plaque so I don't wind up having a heart attack in the next 30 years, right? So we're improving the entire body. We're just looking at it step by step. Intermittent fasting induces various cellular repair process. I just talked about that, right? So if you're talking about the specialized cells in the brain versus the specialized cells in the stomach versus the specialized cells in the liver versus the specialized cells in the kidney versus a specialized cell in the bone, all of them have the ability to take their focus off of having to go to that car and grab those bags of groceries and put them somewhere, and they can just sit around and say, you know what? That wall needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed. And that's how all of the different cells are so much better after the fast is over. Intermittent fasting may help prevent cancer. Absolutely. It's not a mystery. Cancer is a slow deterioration of cells over time in most people. And some people are born with cancer. That means their mama did something wrong. But we serve a great God. There's no cancer that can produce itself in a body that's on point. So we can kill cancer every day when you're eating correctly. You kill cancer every day when you fast. Cancer can't live in these bodies if we do what we're supposed to do. Intermittent fasting is good for your brain. We talked about that, right? The fat, the time to chill, and the time to get to work and fix everything up in there. The people who are losing their memory, like my father did, like my mother is starting to have that problem. Fasting is the key. So if you don't want, here we go. I forgot this was next, but here it is. Intermittent fasting may help prevent Alzheimer's disease. Now, Alzheimer's is just a specific type of memory loss. It's a very specific type. It is the most common type, but you can pretty much prevent that by fasting. And when my father started to have his problems, I talked to him about it. I said, man, if you would just fast with me, bro, just fast once a week and just, a couple of days a month. And he just wasn't really with it. Neither here nor there, but, let's keep working on it. And then we won't have that problem, and we won't have to put that type of burden on our children. Intermittent fasting may extend your lifespan, helping you live longer. Absolutely guaranteed. If all the things and all the systems I just finished talking about are going to get better, you got to expect better health, right? So we on it. We on the plan. Let me jump back in here real quick and see what y'all are talking about, what y'all asking about, and then we'll go to this virus situation and call it a night, okay? Crystal Davis question. Linda Muhammad, Kimmy Kim, thank you. Kelly, amen. Minister Kevin, thank you for coming in, bro. Kevin, we're going to have you on one day, man, to talk about what you've been doing. Sharon Crockett, type 2 also. Yes, Gloria Miller, Hotep. Alelo Santos, hello, thank you for coming in. Maxine says, thank you for your positive energy. I'm catching every square inch. Hey, I'm getting it from y'all too. Y'all coming through my computer. Casey, thank you for coming in. Appreciate you, bro. How many hours a day should we fast? I'm going to get to all that in just a minute. I'm going to talk about how to build yourself into fasting. Lawrence says, I didn't have any hunger pains today, bro, and I prepared some navy bean soup and cream of wheat muffins for tomorrow. And there you go. I didn't have any hunger pains either, but I wasn't in the kitchen doing all that work that you were doing. But that's the strength, y'all. See, Brother Lawrence can come on here and say that. And let me know if I'm being correct, Lawrence, but when he first started fasting, he couldn't do that. When he first started fasting, he would give in to that hunger pain. He would give in to the fact that he's cooking and couldn't resist. It's a work in progress. It ain't no different than training for a marathon. It ain't no difference in getting under that bench and hitting those weights, okay? So, okay, I think I have covered what I wanted to cover as far as fasting. I'm going to talk a little bit about the virus, and then I'm going to come back to how we get into fasting, how we break fast, and how we continue to extend ourselves to further fast, because I have a book. And now that I think about it, Danny, I hope you read that book. I hope you're ready to give it back to me, because I can't find no more. It's out of print. So let's go. I'm so grateful for your information. I wish people would listen to your tutelage. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming. Sarah Walker, thanks. Very informative. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's get into this virus for a few minutes. I have a wait, I just saw Lawrence say something. You are correct, bro. I used to get weak in front of food when I was fasting. That's right. See, so all of you, that's the importance of us being honest and straightforward with you, right? This is something that you have to work at like everything else in your life. Some of you, not some of you, everybody on here is good at something. And you didn't get good at something because it just came. You good at something because you worked at it. And this is going to be what you have to work to. And I'll get to more on that in a minute. Okay, let's talk about this virus, and then we'll go ahead and get up off of here. So the first thing that I want to talk about is your oral pharynx. All right, let's look at this one right here, since it has different colors. I think it ended. I don't know why, but it ended. It's okay. All right, so you see the different colors there. That's just different areas of how we breathe and how we take in things. All right. So if you look at that system right there, you can see right here, this is an example of a respiratory droplet. Okay. So if you're standing in the vicinity of a person, the reason why you go all these places and they say 6 feet, because typically 6 feet is about how far your respiratory droplet will go before it falls to the ground. Right. And so that's typical. Now, a lot of people are out here making comments about this coronavirus and whatever. I'm just going to say this. The first thing is that whether the coronavirus is a hoax or not, you can improve your whole system by listening to the things that I'm talking about. If it is real, and I believe that it is, because I'm getting information from doctors that are in these hospitals all over this country. Okay. But is it as bad as they're saying it? I'm not necessarily sure. But is it real? Yes, it's real. And so what is the reality about a respiratory droplet? You can get a respiratory droplet talking to somebody. I'm sure plenty of you have been sitting in the presence of somebody. They're talking, you see them spit and it lands on you somewhere, and you just play it off and you keep sitting there like they didn't just spit on you. That's a respiratory droplet. It can happen when you're talking. It can happen when you're laughing. It can happen when you're sneezing, coughing. Any of these things can cause a respiratory droplet, right? And so at the end of the day, this portion, I'm talking mainly to the healthcare workers out there, but then all of you can benefit from this as well. When you are walking around with a mask, you're really just blocking those respiratory droplets from getting into your system, right? But if that person coughed on the handle on the car, or coughed on the handle on the building that you're going into, or coughed on the desk, and you put your hand on there, and then you take your hand and you do what? You put it up on your face, or you dig in your nose, or you take it in your teeth or something like that, just something around your face. It takes a certain number, as I said in my first coronavirus program, it takes a certain number of viral particles in order to infect you. I don't care how weak your system is. If you got 10 coronavirus particles in your body, you're not going to get sick. But you'll damn sure get sick if your immune system is weak if you get 100,000 or maybe 1 million. You see what I'm saying? But even those of us with a good immune system, if our immune system, I believe my immune system is pretty good because I work on it on a regular basis. If somebody were to come and find a way to get 400 million corona respiratory viruses in me, it might get me sick. Any system can be overwhelmed. But what I'm talking about is the confidence that you all have to have that this is real, that respiratory droplet reality is real. Now, some people are talking about whether or not it's airborne. It could be airborne. because this is not normal. The way this virus is acting, it's not normal. So they could have made it so that it could live longer in the air. It could be longer on, that is all possible. You know, I heard today somebody say something about the fact that viruses don't live that long. They don't, not the ones we've been studying. But if you've been paying attention over the last few years, Ebola virus, that's not normal. HIV, that's not normal. The bird flu, that's not normal. Avian flu, that was normal. That was not normal. SARS and MARS, none of that is normal. All of this is depopulation things. All of these are viruses that were produced in a laboratory. And I'm for sure of that based on the studies that I've done over time. Okay. So when you are near a person and you get some of that up in here, this is where I showed you earlier in your lymph system. There's all type of immune cells in this area. Your tonsils are an immune system cell. You got them behind your nose. You got them behind the tongue. You got them all down in the trachea. You got them all over the GI system. Okay, so we have to have confidence that this fast improved our ability to fight anything where it comes in, because respiratory droplets have to come in somewhere in here. They got to come in your mouth or your nose. There is no other opportunity for them to come into you. So if your immune system is strong, if your immune system is boosted, and if your immune system is not boosted, like I talked about last week, there is a black man in this country that's making that alpha interferon that everybody's talking about you can get for China. I know a black man right in this country. And matter of fact, I'm one of his distributors. And I didn't even talk about that last week. Why? Because money and making money is not the primary thing. You having the type of information to boost yourself and to benefit yourself is what I'm about. But I am one of his distributors. So if you're interested in that product that will help boost your immune system, this is where it works, right in here. It improves the ability of your immune system to boost itself right here. And it does a cascade effect on the rest of the body. So I just wanted to mention that for those of you who are in the medical community. And again, it just goes back to show all of those immune cells that are around here to help protect us, right? And so we don't have to sit around and worry too much about all of this information. Let's just concentrate and stay stuck on what it is that we can do, right? And so specifically to get to the questions, let's look at this from a reality of what each of you can do and what the healthcare practitioner can do, right? Social distancing is always important. I've practiced social distancing all my life. If I'm around people that I love, yeah, we're close, but in public, typically I try to keep people away from me, give me 50 feet. So yes, we need to stay away from people, especially those who are coughing or look sick. All right. Wash your hands on a regular basis. Now, here's one thing that I've seen that just makes no sense. I've seen people with gloves on, get out their car, go into the store, come back into the car, still with your gloves on. That means everything you touch, you now put in your car. And if you're going to walk in your house, that means everything you touch, you're taking in your house. Wrong information, right? And that, to me, why it would make more sense that if you're going to go into a building, like when my wife and I were on the way back from California this week, and we were stopping at the gas station to fill up and go to the bathroom, I would go in and wash my hands before I went to the bathroom. I just got out the shower. I'm not dirty. So I'm going to wash my hands before I touch myself. I'm going to urinate, wash my hands again, take that towel, dry my hands, and use that to open the door all the way to the door outside. Push that open and then throw the paper towel in the trash can. And now I can go to my car. I didn't bring anything back to my car. That's a better way to look at things. Healthcare practitioners, you need to get an N95 mask. If you go to work and they tell you that you can't have an N95 mask and they're going to fire you because you have an N95 mask, go get another job. It's not worth it. I'm literally hearing people tell me that their jobs would not let them have an N95 mask. Well, you just lost this, doctor, because I'm not going to be foolish enough to walk up in this place and have you tell me what I can do when I know what's best for me. No, N95 mask or you're not being protected. The N95 mask has the ability to stop the virus from getting into those places we just talked about. That makes sense? Now, my suggestion to everybody on here who is an adult is that you have to start being like my sister Kimmy Kim that I went to college with. You got to start increasing the times in between your meals. Eating 3 meals a day has never been scientific, but it sure is causing a whole bunch of disease and death like we've been watching ever since we've been alive. So longer periods in between time. And that's the same way that all of you start your fasting. If you're the type of person that eats 3 meals a day or 5 meals a day, the only thing that you need to start doing to head yourself towards fasting is cut down on a meal. If you're a person that eats meals and then snacks, just cut out a snack. And every week or every 2 weeks, cut back one more. So, for instance, I want to learn how to fast like y'all. Okay, cool. How many meals a day you eating? I'm eating 5 meals a day. Okay. Well, what time do you eat your meal? I eat my meal at 7 a.m., another one at 11, another one at 1, another one at 5, and another one at 8. Okay. Starting tomorrow or Monday, if you like, cut out your 11 o'clock meal. Keep doing the same thing, everything else, other than improve the foods that you're eating, the quality of foods. Make sure they're organic. Make sure all your fruit has seeds. Make sure you decrease how much meat you're eating. Don't eat meat every day. All right. Now you're going in the right direction, right? 2 weeks from now, what you're going to do? Cut out that 4 o'clock meal. 2 weeks from that, cut out the middle of the day meal. Now what you're doing? You're eating in the morning and you're eating in the evening. What do you have? Longer periods of time in between your meals. And some of the stuff that we talked about today is going to start occurring in your body. And you're working yourself towards a fast. It is the best for all of you. If you've read the book or you're not, trust me. And then go do your research and see that all the evidence out there is agreeing with what I'm saying. 1 meal a day is the best thing you can do as an adult. And if you're eating 1 meal a day, you're going to influence your children not to eat all those meals. Now, they should eat when they're hungry. We kill that when we put them in school because it's breakfast time, lunchtime, dinner time, snack time. Destroy all reality of hunger. But let your children during this time while we're at home and they're not in schools, let them eat when they're hungry. Only when they come and they tell you they're hungry, feed them. But don't put food out there and say, hey, come on and eat. Do it a different way. You're building a different reality. You're strengthening your children. You're teaching them how to go back to hunger and stop our habits and imposing them on our children. And you work on yourself. This time while we're at home, we could be majorly better by the time this quarantine is over. In so many ways, mentally strong, physically better, problem solved. Hope that makes sense. You cannot get and stay healthy with a positive immune system without doing some type of physical exercise. If you're afraid of going inside, do it in your house. You live in a 2-story home, run up and down the steps, walk up and down the steps. If you like watching TV all day, get up and walk during every commercial. You know most of the commercials already anyway. Commercials ain't trying to do nothing but take money out your pocket. Walk every commercial. It's typical that every hour program, you have somewhere around 20 to 27 minutes of commercials. That's 20 to 27 minutes of exercise you have every day on every hour show that you watch. At the end of the day, how many hours could you have exercise? Do a few push-ups, get in that push-up challenge. I got my pull-up bar, my chin-up bar. I'm going to do it every day. Stay active. Go outside if you're comfortable. That's what I'm going to do. I go keep my social distance. I'm going to the park. Do me a little jogging, push-ups, burpees, run up some hills, do all the stuff that I need to do, and then come on back, get my shower. I'm not going to get close to people. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the things that we can do. I would suggest, again, as I started the show, please go back and watch Optimal Vegetarianism. Please go back and watch The Science of Eating. Please go back and look at my programs that I did on the coronavirus so you can hear about the right foods that will give you the nutrients that you need. You don't need to follow these people telling you to get these high doses of vitamin C and high doses of vitamin A and high doses of vitamin D. No, you need to eat the way God gave you the ability to do. Your body works much better and greater with moderation. And all of you that have gone through a fast and all of you listening to me as I'm talking about this fast can see that. If your body does better when you're fasting, how in the hell can overdoing vitamin C and all this other stuff be better for you? Your body does better when you fast because less is better. Put the right foods in. You got it the way God wanted it in there and let it go to work. Okay, so please let me know if I answer you all's questions. And after the program is over, I'm going to leave a information about actually, let me see if I can pull it up and let it scroll while we're doing this. There you go. The information on my how to contact me is at the bottom. You also check that out. I am, like I said, if anybody is not very comfortable in your immune system, reach out to me and we can talk about what you can do. If we need to get a consultation because you have a lot of things going on, let's do what we got to do. I'm available to help you wherever you need it. All right. Sarah Walker says, thanks, very informative. Thank you for coming in, ma'am. Lawrence says you are correct. Oh, we said that already. Brother Danny, you did not give me my book back, man. You still got my book. See, y'all? See, that's why I don't get my books out, because my friends take them and won't give them back. Kimmy Kim, thank you. I appreciate you coming in. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Wait, give me just a second, y'all. Sorry, y'all, I kind of went too fast with these comments. I want to get to everybody. Okay, so here we are. Roxanne, thank you for coming in. Kimmy Kim, thank you, and you're welcome. Ariane Heru Asheti, lymphatic system is the immune system. I agree. Lymphatic system is part of the immune system. I just talked about them separately because the lymphatic system is just specifically the waste system, whereas the immune system, a lot of times we'll talk about the immune cells and the actual immune organs like the spleen and the lymph nodes. So yes, I agree. No argument there. D Kiki, information is everything. That's right. Danny says, what is the name of the product to boost the immune system? It's called immune boosting supplement. That's all. We don't want to get into too many names because there are a lot of organizations out here to try to do things to us when we're trying to help you in the best way. So we're going to leave it at that for right now. You all can either reach out to me or I can give you the website. Tyrol says, can we add a little sugar or cream with coffee during fasting? Absolutely. But the key word that you're putting there is little, right? We don't want to do too much. Whatever the way that you drink your coffee when you're not fasting, I would suggest keeping it that way or a little less sugar, right? Because you don't want to overwhelm your body. You want to give your body as much rest so it can do all the things that we talked about. Ariane Heru Asheti, thank you. He's laughing at my 50 feet. Yeah, give me 50 feet, man. And I've said that a couple of times. You know, I've always been this way. You know, I try to distance myself from people because I've always known about these respiratory drops ever since I went to medical school. But if I'm around somebody and they acting like they don't want to get away, I'll get you away from me and to protect me and my family. That's just the way we got to be. April Muhammad says, I'm very, very interested, sir, in interferon. Yes, reach out to me. Let me know if you all can see the information scrolling at the bottom. Roxanne, facts. That's right. N95 mask. That's right. That's the one that can help keep the viruses. Kim says, how do you assess dandelion root in the building the immune system and fighting viruses? Well, Kim, I don't have anything negative to say about any of the type of plant products or herbs that help boost the immune system. My thought process is always to rely on the foods and use those things either when you need it or sparingly, like now in a time where you may feel more confident. And that's just my philosophy. My philosophy comes out of How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he doesn't talk about supplements. And I'm not saying that you're talking about supplements, but when we're talking about herbs like elderberry, and we're talking about some of the other ones that you see all over social media these days, I don't have anything negative to say about those things. But I think it would be worthwhile to spend the money that you spend on that on the right type of food. And the right type of food, there is nothing that's made better than the food. Herbs, they're not, no secret. It's not any mystery thing. It's not magical. Herbs put nutrients in the body. So if I'm going to go to a herb to get nutrients, I can also go to the food. The question is, which one makes you more comfortable? If herbs and food make you comfortable, that's cool. The person that you're listening to, he's just more comfortable with the food. But there are times when I use herbs with people when they need a boost or they need to get through some situation and need some help. So, you know, I don't have anything against them. And I think they do a good job helping the body. But again, you know, I like to put things in a realistic perspective because I think a lot of these people out on social media, they want to sell you products so much that they're trying to make you think there's something special and super about these things. No, there's something special and super about this human body that we have. And when we put the right nutrition in, it becomes Superman and Superwoman. Let me know if I answered your question. Maxine, go ahead, teach. All right. I'm always snacking. Yeah, well, that's definitely something that does a lot of work and a lot of hardship on your body. So work on that, bro. I'm hoping that what I said earlier makes a little sense because over the next 2-3 months, you could definitely decrease and get rid of that snacking and your body's going to be much better. Muhammad says, I carry a wet rag soaked with soap, bleach, and water. I use that as a contact point. Yeah. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I don't disagree with you, Muhammad. My only addition would be make sure that you're doing things to boost the immune system as well, because that's one deterrent. We got to make sure that we're doing all of those type of deterrents like you're talking about. That is what we call a touch deterrent, right? The other deterrent that we have to have is all of this in here. If the virus does get past here, if it does get past these other things that we put up, we got to be able to destroy it with total confidence. That's right, Kim, 1 minute a day. Health is wealth. That's right. Secure yourself. That's right. The life-giving teachers are most honored by Muhammad all day, every day. T. Farrell says, can someone work with infected people every day with a mask while also working on their immune system and be safe? Absolutely. You know, my suggestion would be that if anybody is in the healthcare industry and you're working around a lot of sick people and you're not confident, get the immune booster and watch it help grow your confidence. But again, don't be lax. This is not a time, especially for a healthcare worker. This is not a time for any of us to fall into complacency and to make excuses. But it is a time for us to work on it. So yes, the mask, immune booster, get working on that immune system. Let me know if I answered your question. William X. James says, go ahead, soldier. You saying it right. I love your show, my brother. I thank you for coming in. Van Dyke, hey, brother. Mr. Kevin, good information, Nuke. Thank you. And I will be in touch for sure, bro. Maxine, the myth we have been told is supplements and vitamins are worth it because most people are not disciplined to eat the right food to get what the body needs. This is the lie. I've done it, and food has everything we need. Yeah, I mean, you know, let's just put this in context. If a person comes to you and they say things like, this is what a lot of people say to me, and once I destroy this argument, then they don't come back anymore. They say things like, well, there's not enough nutrients in the food. Well, how in the hell did you get it in a supplement? You don't know how long it took them to take that food, take it to a warehouse, extract the stuff out of it, put it in a capsule, put it in that bottle, ship it to your city, put it on that shelf, and then you went and bought it. What's left live in that? The most important thing for us to do is have confidence in the food. Every vitamin, every nutrient, every phytonutrient is in my show. They are in my shows, Optimal Vegetarianism and The Science of Eating. That's why I did those shows, so that you all can stop being victim to somebody telling you that you need to have a counter full of pills, a counter full of supplements, a counter full of herbs. I don't think those supplements and vitamins and all that is any good at all. The herbs, yes, they do serve a place, but make sure you're doing it out of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and not by a marketing ploy, because your money's gone after that. And will it serve you? You don't know. Gloria Miller, thank you for replying to my question. Thank you for giving me a good one. I see it scrolling. Sharon says, yes, I can see it, and thank you for it. Sharon, let me know if I answered your question. Herbs are micronutrients. Absolutely. Van Dyke says, is everyone going to get this virus before it's over with? You know, for me to answer that question, I would be lying to you because I don't know. I think it's going to be very possible. But again, if we're doing the things like we're talking about today, it's going to be immaterial because your body fought it. Your body lived through it. Your body is now better because of it. And just don't give in to this marketing ploy and this foolishness that's about to come about this vaccine. Stand on your foundation that I don't need a vaccine, ever, never did. It's always been a lie. And if anybody wants to understand what I think about vaccines, I got programs on YouTube and Facebook, okay? Yes, we are special in ourselves. Preach. Thank you, bro. Maxine, I rebuke that. Send positive vibes. That's right. Kimmy Kim. Yes, you answered my question. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate my college buddy for coming in here tonight. Kiki says, I totally agree with living foods is essential. You have to know when and how to use your different foods and herbs that you speaking the truth, Dr. Kitty. Thank you. I salute you back. Arian says it does. I've noticed I'm an emotional eater and I'm working on that. Yeah. And that's what you have now here, my brother, is you have a family that's here to support you. Videos, questions, whatever it is that we have to do to make things happen. That's what we're building, a family. Remember, we're doing this fast every month. So we're coming off tomorrow. May, we're going to do it again. June, we're going to do it again. July, we're going to do it again. August, we're going to do it again. So all you have to do is just keep trying. By the time December gets here, by the time 2021 gets here, you'll be better. You'll have lost some weight. You'll have better immune system. You'll be more confident. All of these things, it just takes time, like anything else in our life. Does fasting help with mucus? It depends. Let me just go ahead and say that mucus is not a negative thing. Mucus is not a disease process. Mucus is the way we collect stuff in the body and get rid of it. The lymph system grabs all that mucus and we get rid of it. When you wake up in the morning, you take a shower and you got to blow your nose. That was mucus that collected stuff that needed to be removed. If you get an infection, you see the pus, that's mucus. We have mucus inside of our mouth. You have mucus inside of your nose. You have mucus inside of your eyelid. You have mucus when you defecate. All these systems are lined by mucus to help things move, but they're also lined with mucus because a lot of the immune cells are in the mucus. And so does fasting help with mucus? It depends on what the mucus is from. If you have something wrong in the body and the body is producing mucus to take care of this body, take care of that part of the body, then yes, your mucus will go down because in the fasting, you're going to be working on it a little more. If you have a problem with, let's say, an inflammatory process like we discussed earlier in the body, during the fast, it might get worse. Because when we fast, if you have a problem in the body and the body starts concentrating on it, the inflammatory process might get worse. The mucus might get higher. Why? Because the body's working on it. It's tearing things up and making things new. It's got to get rid of the old stuff, and the old stuff is taken out of with the mucus. So it depends. Both things can happen. It can make it better or it can make it worse. Maxine, keep pushing. You can do it. That's right. Exactly. Kiki, make sure that you are also eating foods that boost serotonin levels because stress weakens the immune system. Also, meditation, rest, relaxation are important. Self-care is important. Absolutely. Cannot be well without it. Great point. Get to the last few questions and we're going to get out of here, y'all. Appreciate a wonderful show. Olayla Santos says, I hear people talking about drinking warm water with baking soda to prevent the virus from incubating in the throat, I guess. But I remember you said baking soda changes the pH in the stomach, and then the stomach has to work very hard to put it back to normal. Yeah, I mean, I don't really get into the baking soda thing because the parts of the throat, the pharynx, all this back here that I told you all about. If you stay hydrated and if you're drinking water on a regular basis and you're doing the things to boost your immune system, you know, whether your throat is dry for a moment or whatever, the virus gets into the body the way I just showed you all. And so, you know, these things like this guy that was on, he's like really popular right now. He's talking about boiling this stuff and smelling the steam. But you're not going to walk around with that in public. So what are you going to do when you're in public? The best thing that we can do to combat all of this is the best immune system and understand that the immune system is real. I just showed you the cells. It's not some ethereal thing. Every avenue that something can get in your body, you got a whole bunch of soldiers sitting in there watching, like, wait for them to come. When they come in here, we're going to knock them out. We're going to kill them. We're going to slice them apart. That's what your immune system does. So there's nothing that you should worry about. Don't be concerned about all these things that these people are out here talking. They know very little. And the honest truth is that some things that we got from grandmama and mama are good, but some of them aren't. Hey, don't go outside after you take a bath. You might catch a cold. Please, there's no truth to that. Mama and grandmama believe that though. So some of these things have some truth to them, but a lot of it is just something that somebody heard from somebody else and they're repeating it. They don't know how to scientifically explain it. Sagir says, I'm late joining. Hey, bro, please go back and check the show. Let me know what you think. Thank you for covering what I've been saying. Yes, ma'am. Sharon Crockett, yes, you have, but I will need to reach out. Reach out. Let me know if you all can see the information. Alan Brown said, we've been tricked, bamboozled, and hoodwinked for so long that the truth seems unbelievable for so many. Come on, bro. That's the reality. That's truth. And you're looking at a man who was trained in all that stuff. That was the bamboozle and the hoodwink. I was bamboozled and hoodwinked, paid a whole hell of a lot of money for it, but I'm glad to be here and be able to help you all today. T. Farrell says, I'm feeling pretty good on my fast. I haven't done it as much as I should have, but that won't happen again. You got a family do it with you, T. Farrell. D. Kiki says, you have to come to Michigan. I really hate that I missed you when you recently visited, but I understand that everything happens in divine timing. That's right. And when this whole thing is over, I hope that you all will start bringing me to your cities and let's start getting some groups of people together and keep working on this. Sagir Hassan says, a brother with constant mucus from the chest, coughs to bring it up, been occurring for about a month now, even after completing the unity fast. Well, that's good, because if he doesn't feel sick, that means he's cleaning something. He may have been exposed to something that was in his lungs, but that's not a bad sign. If he doesn't have fever, if he doesn't feel sick, then tell him to continue to let it happen. Celeritas, how you doing, brother? Appreciate you coming in. I think this is the first time I've seen you. Thank you. He says, came a little late, but what's your thoughts on these steaming lemon seesaw? I just mentioned that, right? So I think I answered your question. So thank you all for coming in. Had a wonderful show. I appreciate you all spending some of your Saturday with me. Tune in on Tuesday. We'll be talking about that great Navy bean. And until then, you all work hard on your health. In a time like we're living in a society like we're living in, good health comes only by hard work. All right. So until next time, y'all stay safe, be at peace, keep your mind focused on doing something every day to boost your immune system, to get your ideas that you've been not working on for years and put them down on paper and get some things accomplished. All right. And we'll see you next time. Appreciate you coming in, checking out the Ultimate Wellness Group. Love y'all. Peace and stay safe until next time I see you. Peace.